Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's episode of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys checking out today's video and spending some time with me. And guys, I have a really cool modification I want to show you today with a Zoom brush bog. Doing this modification, I have no doubt in my mind that it'll increase your strike rate probably 25%. It just makes it look better, it gives it better action. I've been doing it for probably 15 years now, and I'm going to share it with you guys in today's episode. Also, guys, before we get started, I just wanted to share one thing with you guys. This is one of my favorite lures for fishing shallow in June. This is that Megabass sleeper gill. Looks like a little bluegill. And guys, in June, there's a lot of spawning bluegills that are real shallow. So try one of these sleeper gills here. Just go back into the same type of areas where you think the bass were spawning in April. Bluegills love to spawn in those type of areas, and throw the sleeper gill back in those flat spawning type areas. Just throw it in there, keep your rod tip high, reel it about that far into the water, and just cover water. And those bass that are feeding on those spawning bluegills will eat this thing up. So I'll put this in my tackle warehouse link in the description if you guys would like to order one. Megabass sleeper gill. I think you guys will really like that. Okay guys, I've been doing this modification for a long time now, and it's like I don't fish a brush hog unless I do this. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Pretty simple modification, and I do it for every application that I use a brush hog. Now, a lot of people think that a brush hog is just for Texas rigging, and that's primarily how I use it, but this is a great trailer for a football head jig. You can cut it off about halfway. It's a super great football jig head trailer. It's also really good on a Carolina rig and a Magnum shaky head. So there's a lot of different ways to fish this. But nevertheless, I do the same thing. I modify it the same way for any application that I'm using. So I'm gonna show you what it is. Okay, so first of all, the wings right here, you hear a lot of debate on this. I like to pinch the wings off. So pinching those wings off, and by doing that, it gives a little bit more action on the curly tails there. And this is the real big one right here, guys. Get you a pair of scissors. And see the little side flaps right here? You want to come in and cut some serrated edges through it. Now, normally I'll do 3 or 4, as long as you got enough mass to do it. But I'm gonna break them up like that. I'll spread it apart here in a second when I get both of them done. Another thing this is gonna do, this is gonna accomplish a couple of different things. It's going to make the bait a little bit more pliable, so you have better hook sets. You don't have this mass of plastic. But what I've done is I've separated this flapper here into 3 or 4 different things here, and it just gives it a lot more action. It flares it out a little bit, gives it a lot more action in the water. But the combination of the tails here and the flared out tentacles here is a big deal. Okay, now I'm gonna give you some more tips on a brush hog as far as the coloration. My favorite color of a brush hog is either like this watermelon purple or watermelon red flake. And also, guys, I'll link my Zoom brush hog link in the description of this video too, if you guys like to pick up some. But the reason I like the watermelons over like the green pumpkins, they're not real different. There's a little bit different coloration. Is the watermelon will hold dye better, and it has a little bit more of a pronounced, color to it. So I'm gonna show you the difference here. So coming through there, dip that tail chartreuse. See how that sort of lights up, really nice there like that? And now I'm gonna do a green pumpkin. I'm gonna show you the difference here. The green pumpkin, it still makes it chartreuse, but it's just a sort of a different look with it. It's a little bit more pale, simply because of that. So you can see the brightness. Look at the brightness difference in the watermelon versus the green pumpkin there. But guys, this watermelon, watermelon candy, watermelon purple flake, watermelon red flake, this is my favorite color of brush hog to fish in the summertime of the year. Brush hog is an unbelievable bait for catching quality fish. Normally what I do is I'm Texas rigging it. So I like to fish it with a EWG. Now this is one, you guys have seen me talking about my Texas rigs and stuff using a straight shank hook, like on my creature baits, like a Z-hog or beaver or plastic worm. I use a straight shank hook. The brush hog is one bait that I do use the EWG on. So I usually use a 3/0 Gamakatsu, a hybrid worm hook on it. And the reason I want the EWG on this particular bait and not the straight shank is the planing effect that EWG has. Because when this bait's falling down like that, I just seem like I get more bites on a real straight fall down. And if you have a straight shank hook in there, you don't have that keel, and it sort of goes off to the side, but it sort of comes in from this angle right here, and it just, I don't know, I just get more bites. It's one of those deals where you don't know for sure, but I just have a lot of confidence in it. And then normally I'm gonna pair the brush hog up with a, usually this time of year I'll use a 5/16 sinker, 5/16 out slip sinker, so that's my rig there. Usually 20-25 pound test Seaguar and Vizex line. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, where you want to fish a brush hog during the summer months here. Brush hog is going to be really good. Now, I'm not just going to talk about Texas rigs. I'm going to talk about a lot of different things. Probably the number one application for a brush hog in the summertime is using it on a football head jig trailer. I actually just did a video this morning talking about that. But if you missed that video, fishing a brush hog, just biting it in half, throwing it on a football head jig trailer is a really good bait on football head jig if you're fishing a body of water that has a little bit off-colored water. So say, for example, that water visibility is about 2 to 3 feet in that zone. That's when I like a brush hog. Sometimes I'll use the mid-size, but most of the time I'll use the full size. If I'm fishing cleaner water than that, I'll use like a Z-Craw or something a little bit more finessey with that. Second with that, sort of along the same things, is on a Carolina rig. Big brush hog on a Carolina rig, guys, will get you a good bite. It's something that a lot of people don't fish it, but the football head jig and the I had somebody yelling there. Football head jig and the other stuff will definitely get you a good bite that time of year. Now, for the rest of the thing, it's going to be Texas rigging. Texas rig and pitching and flipping that Zoom brush hog, just around any type of shallow cover. Probably my favorite cover to fish it around in the summertime of year is some type of boat dock. Floating boat docks, it has brush around them or around the walkways, a real good spot for them. Any type of pier dock, that's got the pilings on it's going to be really good. If I'm fishing a boat dock with a brush hog, I'm usually using a little bit lighter sinker, like a 3/16 or a 1/4 ounce. Falls really nice and slow. That's probably the number one thing. Hold on a second, guys. I got somebody yelling at me. Oh, sorry about that, guys. We had a little emergency around the house here. I had a couple hours ago, there was about a 5-foot long black snake that crawled into the tackle room here. So we caught it and put it in a tub, and I was getting ready to take it down to release it down at the creek, get it away from the house, because it'd been going after some bird eggs here around the yard, and it got out, so the kids were freaking out, so I had to go catch the thing again. But anyways, about the brush hog, like I said, it's good trailer for the football head jig, good Carolina rig, good Texas rig thing. A couple of different things I'll share with you on that brush hog there is I like to use heavy line on it. Like I said, 20-25 pound test Seaguar and Vizex line. And one thing that I found out about the brush hog is I can't catch many fish on any of the dark colors, like the blacks and the June bugs and just the darker colors in general. The brush hog is such a bulky bait that I don't feel like you need a dark color, because even in a little bit off colored water, the dye really helps it stand out. And most of the time when I'm fishing a brush hog, it's in water visibility of a minimum of 1.5 feet. And ideally, I like, sort of between 1.5 to 3.5 feet of visibility is perfect for it. But it is a fish catching bait. It comes in a lot of different sizes. They got a tiny one, they got a baby brush hog, they got a mid-sized brush hog, and they got a full-size brush hog. I've caught probably more on the tiny and the big one than about any of them out there. But it's one of those baits that has withstood the test of time. That brush hog's been around, man, it's probably been around for, probably 25 years or so. And it's one of those baits. There's just something unique about it that, catches fish. And it's one of the first baits that had a bunch of appendages on it. And you've seen a lot of people try to duplicate the brush hog, but nobody can really match, just the original Zoom brush hog there. But anyway, guys, I'll link them in the description of this video and my Tackle Warehouse link if you'd like to pick up a couple, and hope it helps you guys catch some good fish. We'll talk later.